Mortal Kombat 1 is dying. The game is falling apart right before our eyes, and the sky is falling along with it. Well, not really. But Mortal Kombat 1 also is not in the best state. But going to the extremes of this game is dying and it's on its way out, no, but it really does need some help. A lot of people in the community have been talking for a while now that Mortal Kombat 1 really isn't in the best state, and it's really frustrating how we're not getting frequent updates and the changes we'd like to see are just not being done and the communication is lacking and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they've got a point. It's happening. That kind of stuff is plaguing the game and plaguing people's enjoyment of the game, including my own. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about that very subject and talk about the 5 rules that I believe MK1 should follow in order for it to be the best game that it can possibly be. Now look, I'm not the type to constantly complain and focus so much on complaining and talking about the things that I don't like. But I'm also not the type to give constant praise, infinite praise to certain things, and not talk about the things that I don't like. I like to be very nuanced and take measured approaches to any subject that I tackle. And one thing that I take issue with in this community is that there seems to be so much focus being put toward how bad things are. There's so much energy on being doom and gloom, just being super doomer pilled about MK1. But there's almost no energy or focus on talking about fixes, solutions, how do we move forward, where do we go from here? That is a lot more interesting for me to engage in terms of conversation because, well, you can talk about, hey, I have this idea for how to go forward, how to fix this issue. You have this idea on how to fix this issue and how to move forward. Let's talk about those two ideas. Let's exchange those ideas and maybe we can meet in the middle and we can talk about how do we go forward, how to make things better. And you almost never see that with the people that are most known to talk negative about Mortal Kombat 1. That's not to say that the things that they say are wrong, but constantly talking about it over and over again and just repeating the same points that may not be wrong, but it doesn't move anything forward. So that's what I'm here to do. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 5 rules to fix Mortal Kombat 1. It's no secret that 99% of the Mortal Kombat community absolutely hates how the monetization is in the Mortal Kombat 1 Premium Store. Despite what Total MK likes to say about me, I also do not like it at all and have been on record many times saying so. Don't get it twisted. So how do we move forward with this? How can this be better and what changes are realistic? The first idea that everyone says is to lower the cost of the skins in the game. That's a baseline level take. The most attractive skins in the game right now are $10 or 1,000 Dragon Crystals, and to get 1,000 Dragon Crystals, it is $10 with real money. Deadly Alliance Sub-Zero, Deception Li Mei, and Deadly Alliance Nitara are $10 or 1,000 Dragon Crystals. So if you bought the base game without the combat pack, you paid around $70. And then buying the 3 skins, the $10 skins, you would have literally spent $100 on a game. And keep in mind that these skins are not the only $10 skins in MK1. You had Deadly Alliance Scorpion and the Krampus General Shao skin. So essentially, you would have paid $120 for the vanilla game and 5 skins. In what world does it make sense for a game and its monetization to cost this much? $120 for a game and 5 skins when there is a whole other version of the game, the premium edition, that costs $110 for the base game and the combat pack, along with 1 skin and 1,250 Dragon Crystals. One is not worth more than the other, and these $10 skins are going to keep coming every 1 to 2 months when the premium store rotates. So what do we do here? Well, the good news here is that we have seen some sort of hope that not every one of these very attractive premium skins will be $10. We recently had the Mrs. Claus Katana skin that was only 500 Dragon Crystals, which would equate to $5. $5 for a single skin, you know, that ain't bad. Really, it should be no more than $3, but we live in a world now where things aren't always going to go the way you want them to be. A game backed by a big corporation, especially one that's facing big financial struggles right now, is going to do everything in their power to get as much money as they can to get out of consumers. So if $5 skins is possibly the big compromise we are facing going forward instead of $10 skins, I will take it. Never apologize for the little victories that you get. It really isn't the perfect solution, but if this is the plan from WB to have these skins at a reduced price, it should be considered a win in everyone's wallet. It may not be perfect, but once again, there's a lot of things we can't control when faced with a big corporation, and the next best thing is compromise. Previous Mortal Kombat games used to have skin packs. This was the standard. You pay for a pack of 3 to 4 skins and that would be it. This time around, there are no skin packs or bundles. Maybe another compromise that I could see happening is to have 2 skin packs of 3. So a total of 6 skins for $10 each. So $20 for 6 skins. I know that doesn't sound ideal, but we are currently paying $20 for 2. And if it's possible that $20 can equal the value of 6, that could be something that I believe I can work with. It may not be the end-all be-all solution, it may not be the best solution, but it's something worth talking about. The main idea that I'm trying to get at here is that we should try to be getting skin packs in the premium store for the same or similar price of what we are currently paying for now, because that's how we have always had it in previous games. Skin packs and bundles, and if we can get that back and have that be the new standard going forward in the premium store, then I would see the store as not perfect, but a whole lot better than how it is now. Again, we are dealing with a big corporation here, and whatever change we may get may be the only thing we can get. And we are already seeing the possibility of more skins being $5 instead of $10. And then you have to ask, what more can we see changed, and what that change would look like. I understand that everybody wants to have individual skins cost $3 like how it used to be, and skin packs to be $6 to $7 or maybe even $5. Trust me, I want that as well. That is the perfect solution. But unfortunately, that is not the reality that we're living in today. We're living in a world where DLC and cosmetics for games cost a lot more than how they used to be, and that is just the standard right now. And if you want to see change and you want to see these issues addressed, they have to start with the acknowledgement of where things are at right now and then go from there by having your solutions be based in reality with the acknowledgement of where the current state of things are at. Rule number 4 is going to be about progression. This one is a pretty simple issue that has a simple solution but would make a huge difference in the enjoyment of the game. Right now, Mortal Kombat 1 has a problem with XP and leveling up characters. I mean, look at how much XP I get for completing a match. We know this is on purpose. It's on purpose to have us keep playing the game constantly over and over again, which is okay in of itself. Of course, as a developer, you most certainly will need to have your game have some sort of grind. But there comes a point to where it feels just annoying, repetitive, and slow. That's how it feels for MK1. So how do we fix this? Is it too much to ask for a little XP boost in the XP gain? Is it too much to ask for double XP weekends? Is it too much to ask for unlock methods to get double XP? Most mainstream games have double XP weekends. Why doesn't Mortal Kombat 1 have any? In fact, Mortal Kombat has never had anything like that. I think it would be nice if we could have, at the very least, double XP weekends on the week of a new DLC character and a cameo drops. It makes perfect sense. New content is usually out whenever a DLC character is out or whenever a DLC cameo is out, and more eyes and players are going to be logging in, and it will keep them logged in, knowing that double XP is on their side and they can rank up whatever characters or cameo characters that they want to have ranked up. And it doesn't have to be just double XP weekends. Like I said, there could be other little challenge methods that you can do scattered throughout the game. So maybe, for an example, you win 5 games in a row in Kombat League. Well, guess what? You get 30% more XP gain. Or you win 3 games in a row in casual matches and you get 20% the XP gain. Or you're on a 10-game win streak, or you play 10 games in a row and it gets you 30% more XP gain. Small little challenge methods like that or in that nature is going to keep players playing because, hey, they have to invest their time into the game and they have to play the game a certain way, and it's going to be a good investment for them because they know that when they do those certain things, they're going to be rewarded for their grind. Not only do we need the XP gain to be doubled, but we need a real, consistent, and reliable method to earn Dragon Crystals in this game. Mortal Kombat 11 had a daily challenge where if you played a certain amount of Kombat League matches every day, you would get time crystals. Currently, right now, there is no equivalent to that. Mortal Kombat 1 has weekly challenges. Let's make earning 100 Dragon Crystals every week or every 2 weeks if you want to play conservative, a new challenge for the game. The goal here is to get people playing the game and keep the grind going, right? In the developer's eyes. Tell me in the comments right now, who wouldn't want to keep playing the game if you knew that every week or two there was 100 Dragon Crystals waiting for you in the challenges for the game? Of course you would play the game, because that way you keep playing the game and you get yourself ready for the new content drops when the store updates with new items. You spend your Dragon Crystals that you earned and then you repeat for the next time you need to spend them. The goal of the developers is to keep you playing the game and to get money out of you. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, you were able to earn 100 Dragon Crystals every week through the weekly challenges. That would mean you would get around 400 Dragon Crystals every month. And new premium items drop into the premium store every 2 months. So by the time new premium items come into the premium shop, you still won't have enough to buy everything there. You're still going to spend some money, but you're not going to be spending a lot. You're actually going to be spending less because of the amount of time you spent earning the Dragon Crystals in the game for free. So the grind is still alive because you're incentivized to log into the game every single week, and you're still not going to have enough Dragon Crystals to buy everything and every single item that's in the premium shop, so you still spend the money that they're also asking from you. And you rinse and repeat this cycle. NetherRealm keeps you playing MK1, you keep getting your Dragon Crystals for your efforts, and you get rewarded with those nice premium skins, and you're also incentivized to pay a little bit more for the ones that you could miss out on. What's not to love about a solution like that? You, the player, are earning Dragon Crystals and spending less money than you already are in the premium shop when those premium items drop, and NetherRealm and WB are still getting the money that they are inevitably going to get. It's a win-win situation here. Not perfect, but it's a start. It's a compromise. The next rule is related to gameplay and balance philosophy. Personally, I believe MK1 is in a good state gameplay-wise right now. It can be better though, and playing this game is still very fun to me. The last patch gave buffs to a lot of cameo characters, and now you're starting to see a lot more people use a variety of cameos and not relying on Lao Hat and Striker Bombs all the time. There is a lot more use of Sub-Zero, Motaro has seen a nice jump in use, Sonya is starting to be a real viable option, and the sky is the limit with Chameleon now being out. At the time of recording this video, it's only been day 1 of Chameleon being out, and I've seen a lot of interesting things being done with her that can shake up a lot of how MK1 is played. Now, that's not to say that Striker Bombs and Lao Hats still aren't the strongest and most used cameos in the game right now, but the direction NetherRealm is going, which is buffing characters, especially ones that would be considered weaker by the tier standards, instead of nerfing characters, is definitely the way to go. That should be the standard going forward, unless there's a case of a character or cameo being egregiously strong. But it shouldn't stop there. I believe NetherRealm should seriously look into reworking some characters if the time calls for it. What I mean by rework is to change the way the character plays almost entirely, still keeping their moves, but changing the way they function in the game and how their gameplay style is. For example, Kung Lao is very one-dimensional in this game. All you have to do is EX punch into Goro cameo and maybe add a little spice of his dive kicks, and that's pretty much it. That's all he has. It's very potato, it's very boring, and it's very annoying to play against. I think Kung Lao would benefit a lot if he was reworked and that wasn't the way you had to play Kung Lao. Maybe buff the other tools that he has. Make sure that he plays not so one-dimensional. Tanya's the same way. All I see is down one into spinning kick into Goro cameo, and that's all I see. Give Tanya more to work with. I don't blame Tanya mains for doing that because that's literally all she has. In regards to cameos, I believe they should definitely rework Shujinko. He's literally useless in this game and there really isn't any reason to pick him over cameos like Lao, Sector, or Striker, or even a weaker cameo like Cyrax. Shujinko just needs a huge overhaul in the way he works as a cameo fighter. Frost is another cameo who may not need a rework per se, but she doesn't really have a place in the meta compared to everybody else, so maybe she needs more of a buff than a rework, but she could definitely use some help. Overall, buffing characters is the way to go instead of nerfing characters constantly, and reworking characters is a concept that I would like to see NetherRealm tackle, especially to the characters that feel a lot more one-dimensional like Kung Lao, Raiden, and Tanya. These two things would make Mortal Kombat feel ever-changing in terms of gameplay meta, so there's always something new and something to discover with the new buffs, and the hypothetical reworked character is going to be fun to discover how they maneuver into the game, both you playing that character and you playing against that character, as well as avoiding the feeling of the game feeling stale. You never want your video game to feel that way. The second thing I want to talk about is the online experience. The online for this game is just not up to industry standards. I'm sure you're all aware right now that there is a desynchronized issue where if you skip the intros in Kombat League, you would disconnect from the match. And this isn't a rare issue that happens. If you play 10 games, 4 out of 10 of those games would probably disconnect. And this has been plaguing this game for a month now. So imagine a whole month of you playing this game, and a good chunk of your time playing this game probably belongs to desynchronized experiences. That's crazy. I can't imagine a game that I played in recent time where disconnecting from the match was a huge issue. And just a few days ago, we got an update that supposedly fixed this issue, but it didn't actually fix the issue at all, not a single bit. And people are still experiencing desyncs in Kombat League, and we don't know when it's going to be fixed. We could be looking at February being the month where the desynchronized issue is resolved. So almost 2 months of a desynchronized experience in Mortal Kombat 1's online play. Now, I would like to acknowledge that we don't know if it actually is going to be fixed in February, but it has already been a month. It is terrible no matter what. Even though this doesn't happen anywhere else and it only affects one mode, which is Kombat League, this is the mode where you unlock seasonal items and rank up. So in what world should it take over a month to fix this issue? This isn't just any other bug. This bug denies us of any match we want to enter. But it also speaks to a larger issue with online, which is connectivity. The amount of input delay and rollback issue in this game is probably more present than any other NetherRealm game. There have been plenty of times in this game where it just feels a bit off to react to certain moves or to punish certain moves where my buttons don't register at the pinpoint exact time I press a button online. Have you ever wondered why Smoke's back 2 overhead and Astra's forward 3 seem completely unreactable? Well, that's input delay for you, and if you try to pull off those moves offline the same way you do online, it's not going to work. Not a single one of these pro competition tournaments have people using those moves the same way you see them online. And well, this is because you're offline and you don't have to deal with input delay. NetherRealm is dealing with a new engine here, and this could be why the connection in this game seems to be a bit off, but that's no excuse to not try and improve the online connection in future updates. And it's not just input delay either. There have been numerous times that I've seen people try and create King of the Hills with tournaments and people just wouldn't be connecting to the lobby, or the ping in the lobby would just be so high, or the ping for the person you're playing against in the match would say something at the start screen, at the matchmaking screen, but when you actually get into the game, it's a lot more higher than what was originally told that it would be. So just a small example, you go into the matchmaking and it says that when you go into the match, it's going to be 90 ping, but when you're actually playing in the match, it feels like 110, and you'll see the indicator actually jumping up to like 110 or 115. The positive change NetherRealm made in the latest big patch was the ability to decline people in Kombat League, which was mainly made for those people who had wired connection to decline anyone with Wi-Fi, and even people with Wi-Fi can decline whatever high ping player comes their way. It's a great change, and I believe it's a step in the right direction, but it's not really the ping filter or the Wi-Fi filter that I was asking for and the community was really asking for. What we were really asking for was basically what Street Fighter 6 has. In that game, you have the option to search for all types of connection. 1 to 2 bars, 3 to 4 bar connections, 4 to 5 bar, or 5 bar only connections. That way, every time you search for an opponent, you are guaranteed to have found a match with a connection to your liking. There's zero excuse for this to not be in Mortal Kombat 1 when it is in Street Fighter 6. I don't know if it's going to be in Tekken 8 if they announced that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be in Tekken 8 as well, and Tekken 8 comes out at the end of this month in January. We all know crossplay is coming in February, and we all know it should have been at the game at launch, but that line of thinking of constantly saying it should have been in the game, it should have been in the game, and it should have been in the game doesn't move anything forward if you keep harping on that. What should be talked about is if this game is even ready for crossplay to be added. When there are these desync issues, there's no connection filter, the input delay is annoying, the King of the Hill servers and connections are really poor, how is this game's connection going to be when you're trying to play people from different consoles, especially on PC, where it varies between players' builds, their PC builds are for the game? There absolutely needs to be some sort of online connectivity update that addresses input delay, the desynchronized issue, and it has to be fixed before crossplay is out. And there has to be a connection filter, a proper one, that guarantees that you have a good connection when searching for an opponent at all times, while crossplay connects us all so we can all have a great experience. And lastly, the most important issue that needs to get fixed for this game isn't even in the game itself, it's outside the game, and that is communication. NetherRealm has been notoriously bad at communicating to the community, going back to as long as I have been seriously involved in the community, which I would say 2014, so nearly 10 years of this. I can even point to a very recent example that I touched on earlier in this video with the desync issue. Now, supposedly it got fixed in the latest update, but in fact, it didn't fix anything, and not a single person from the community management side of the game said anything about it until 4 days later. Now, this was a huge topic in the community, talking about how bad NetherRealm's communication is, and then one of the social media managers over at Warner Brothers said this, saying, "I promise you that if we, community and social media managers, had the liberty to run social media and give you every update we could without first having to go through many rounds of approvals from multiple teams, we would. It's just not as simple as many are assuming. I swear we see your frustrations. We do our absolute best to take what you say to the right people and propose the best solutions to address your concerns behind the scenes. Unfortunately, not every solution is as linear as we hope, and many things take more time than we would like." Now, this isn't really surprising if you know anything about the industry standard with social media teams and marketing teams. Anything related to marketing and social media teams, especially when it comes to big companies and game developers or anything even outside of gaming, this is what happens. When you want to tweet something, sometimes you have to go through multiple higher-ups to approve that message or figuring out what kind of message you want to send. Ed Boon is bound by these rules. Tyler Lansdowne is bound by these rules. Derek Kurtzig, Stephanie Brownback, all the people that talk about Mortal Kombat the most are all bound by these rules. They have to have their message vetted by multiple people higher up. Now, again, this is the industry standard. This isn't anything new or surprising, but the question is, what's the efficiency level with these communication teams, the social media managers, the marketing teams, all of that? How fast can they actually work together and figure out a solution? And how well do they do it? Because there are plenty of communication and marketing teams out there that have grown a reputation for being very well in tune with the community that they manage. So you have to ask, does it really take 4 days for a simple message like, "Hey everyone, sorry the recent update didn't fix anything. We are working on another update ASAP." Now, maybe I could understand a day because they probably want to analyze to see if that's actually a problem that's still in the game, but maybe no more than 2, 4, especially between those days, there's not a single hint of acknowledgement for it. It just sends the message that we are being ignored. Of course, I believe it when they say they know what we're saying and they want to say something, but I don't think it should take this much effort to send a very simple message. And I sort of just feel bad for Tyler Lansdowne, who is the community manager of NetherRealm, and Derek Kurtzig and Stephanie Brownback and even Ed Boon. I know that they want to talk to us. I know that they want to send out frequent messages and responses. I have no issue with the developers of NetherRealm, but it just makes me question, who do we talk to and who can we rely on to give us updates and acknowledgements and explanations on the growing issues that community has and that the game has? Warranted or unwarranted, everybody deserves to feel like they are heard. This vetting process and the things that go through multiple teams to figure out how to send a message is all coming from Warner Brothers, WB Games, and their communications team, their marketing team. And I would very much like to see things change there because things just don't seem very efficient, they don't seem very reliable or frequent, and it just creates this environment where we feel like we're unheard, where we feel like we don't know who we can rely on, we don't know who we can talk to, and we don't even know if we should talk at all because is this thing even gonna get fixed? Is this thing even acknowledged? We have no idea. And even for simple things like their philosophy on balance changes. Why is Johnny Cage the way he is, but Quan Chi is so weak the way he is? Why can't Quan Chi have mix-up pressure? Why is Shujinko the way he is, but Chameleon is the way she is? Why can't they explain their philosophy on story choices? Why haven't they talked about the online feeling not up to par? There are so many things that we just don't know where their minds are at and what they plan to do about it. Do we have to wait every 1 to 2 months for a Kombat cast where they will announce an update and say, here's a new update, here are the changes that you guys want to see you in 2 months? Sometimes, not even all the issues are acknowledged on the Kombat cast, and we have to tense up and cross our fingers to hope they will acknowledge a certain issue as we watch it. So talk to us, acknowledge what's going on, and let us know where your head is at every part of the game that people talk about. Now look, I'm a communications major, so this one hits a little more for me, and even though I have a degree in that field, I am certainly not in any way suggesting that I could do a better job or that I know more than those who have over 10 years of experience in this part of the job. I don't. I simply don't. But I will say, whatever is going on right now, I would be driven crazy knowing what I could potentially do and potentially say and just not be able to do it the way I want to do it or not do it at all. The tools are there to fix Mortal Kombat 1, and believe it or not, it is in a position to where it can get better. But the updates we get come out way too slow, we are often left in the dark with communication, and when we have Street Fighter 6 on the shelves right now, which is a fantastic game and really is the new standard for fighting games, and Tekken 8 is looking to continue that, your two biggest competitors are setting new bars and doing the opposite of the mistakes being made in this game. So why should anyone play your game anymore if you aren't already a Mortal Kombat fan? And there we have it, guys. Those are the 5 rules that I believe Mortal Kombat 1 should follow that would make Mortal Kombat 1 a significantly better game. There's obviously so many things that I would like to see changed in specific, like being able to search for a match and then go into training mode while you're searching for a match and things like that. All those little solutions in there, I've already talked about in previous videos, so just because I didn't mention in this video doesn't mean that I don't endorse that idea or that I don't want to see that. Let me know in the comments below if you guys think I got anything wrong, and let me know if you guys have a different approach to the things that I take issue with in Mortal Kombat 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a big thumbs up and subscribe for all things Mortal Kombat. I will see you guys in the next video.